Let's talk about 4 hidden benefits of Stunt Sabers. So Stunt Sabers are custom lightsabers that light up, but they don't make sound. So they don't make all those really cool lightsaber sounds that we know and love. And, that sounds kind of bad initially, but there are some good reasons to have a lightsaber without that. So let's go over those. Now, first of all, affordability. So Stunt Sabers tend to be quite affordable. If a custom saber company sells them, it'll be some of the cheapest lightsabers on their site typically, and that can make them just affordable and accessible as a first lightsaber for a lot of people, or just kind of as an entry-level sort of simple lightsaber. So that's pretty neat. That's definitely a big appeal. Now, another thing about Stunt Sabers is they don't get outdated nearly as easily as some of the sound sabers, and that's because different sound technology keeps advancing, right? So we had the Profi board kind of come out last year, and that was very disruptive. A lot of people are looking for Profi board or Golden Harvest or some of these just newer boards. People are looking for those in their lightsabers. And even some of the kind of Plector Labs products, they keep releasing new versions of it. Some of the proprietary boards from some of the other companies, they keep releasing new versions of it. And so it's sort of hard to keep up with that, right? And you always have to look for that when you're purchasing used sabers as well. Which version of the board am I getting? Will it have all of the features and functionality that I want? Now with Stunt Sabers are simpler. You don't have to think about any of that. You just have to find out maybe how bright, the blade is going to be, which, that's certainly a factor as well. It's just a lot simpler. They just don't get outdated quite to the extent as some of the sabers with sound. And that's a good lead into the next thing. So Stunt Sabers, another big benefit of them is their simple electronics. So the configuration of their electronics is quite simple. They don't need, a card in there, although, sometimes people will get cards in there to get different visual effects. But for the most part, Stunt Sabers are just kind of wired with an LED, and it's relatively basic. It can also be a pretty simple first build for people too, kind of, less threatening than having to do soldering or, lots of things associated with installing a sound card or module in the saber. So just the simplicity of that, the simplicity of the electronics is another big benefit of a Stunt Saber. And finally, okay, this is a small one, you guys, but, not to be totally discounted. They're quieter, okay? Now, a lot of sabers do have mute functions, which is great. Not all of them do. Like if you get Force FX lightsabers, for example, which are the officially licensed lightsabers, those don't have a mute function. Sometimes you just want it to be a little quieter, and or maybe you even need it to be a little quieter, right? So that's a nice thing about Stunt Sabers. They are quieter. Now, what do you guys think about Stunt Sabers? Do you like them? Do you hate them? I know some lightsaber enthusiasts don't consider Stunt Sabers real lightsabers because they're just flashlights, right? That's what some people say, because they light up and they don't make sound. They don't make all those cool lightsaber sounds that we love. But I think of them, there's a place for Stunt Sabers, right? And especially if it kind of lowers the barrier to entry for people, if it gives them access to the saber community, I think that's a great thing. But, that's just me. So I do consider Stunt Sabers a type of lightsaber. But what do you guys think? Are Stunt Sabers lightsabers? Do you agree with that? Do you think lightsabers need to have sound? Can you think of additional benefits of having Stunt Sabers versus any other types of sound sabers, or, empty hilts, anything else like that? Feel free to comment below.